Hey y'all, Irix Guy here. Now I wanted to provide a little bit of Apple Mac buyers advice. The holiday season's coming around. You may be thinking about getting that new Mac. And what I want to do is make the process easy for anyone. Now this is a very low level video, but I'm going to include some technical elements. And basically what I want to do is explain the pros and cons to the various models. Now I'm not going to talk about the laptops. I'm talking about the desktops, and those being the iMac or the Mac Pro in this particular video. So what I found is really useful, if you go to apple.com and you go to store, and then there's the little bar that goes across that says compare models. So check the compare models, and then you can do a side-by-side comparison. You can either do the laptops or the desktops. Now this video, and I keep looking over there because I got two monitors on I'm on a MacBook Air here talking, but I've got a large 21.5-inch IPS display to my left. So I was on the fence from a desktop perspective. I was torn between the Mac Pro or the 27-inch iMac, and I wanted to see the pricing for the Mac Pro before I made that final decision. But this is just a good way to see side-by-side comparisons of the various Macs. And I'll go ahead and break it down for everyone here. Now, if you go with the Mac Mini, it's great, but you got to bring your own monitor, your own mouse, and your own keyboard. And that's not a problem, but typically, at least with the current configuration with the Mac Mini, you're not going to get the performance from it that you will a 21.5-inch iMac. So, you know, they're somewhat similar in specifications. I would say those two are closely related, except you don't get the monitor with the Mac Mini. But I'm going to focus upon the 27-inch iMac and the new Mac Pro. Now, the new Mac Pro doesn't come with a monitor either. But looking at the key specs here that matter. Now, obviously, with the Mac Pro, you get Xeon processors, which are more powerful than an i5 or an i7. But the disadvantage to the Mac Pro is that you're getting, with memory, and this is something a lot of people may not pick up on, but with memory in the Mac Pro, you're getting ECC memory, which is more expensive to add more memory after the purchase than the memory that's in an iMac. Keep in mind, with the 21.5-inch iMac, you cannot add more memory, but you can with the 27. So the memory on the Mac Pro is a pitfall, in my opinion. The advantage to the Mac Pro is that you have a lot more ports. You got more Thunderbolt ports. You got an HDMI port. There's no HDMI port on the iMac. And you get the same number of USB 3 ports. You do not get an SDXC card reader on the Mac Pro, and I think that's kind of weird. Why would you not want to include a card reader that you can put your camera card, etc., in to transfer? That's kind of silly, in my opinion. In the Mac Pro, you get dual gigabit Ethernet ports, and in the iMac, you just get one Ethernet port, which for most people, that's not going to matter. The starting price for the Mac Pro, and that's just their basic configuration, is $29.99. The starting price for the iMac 27-inch is $17.99. So what I did, and you can check out my unboxing video when I get it and I set it up. But after I did my due diligence, and I decided, hey, what am I going to gain by getting the Mac Pro? Sure, you're going to have faster processing speed, you're going to have more ports. But realistically, for what I do here with this channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy, that you're watching right now, realistically what I do is video editing. And my late 2009 model iMac worked wonderfully, and I sold it in anticipation of either purchasing the Mac Pro or another iMac. And after seeing the pricing for the Mac Pro and breaking it all down, for me, just a recreational YouTuber that runs Irix Guy's Adventure Channel, I couldn't justify the cost of getting the Mac Pro. And then, of course, with the Mac Pro, you got to get your own display too. If you don't have, it'll work with an inexpensive PC monitor with a mini display port with a DVI on the monitor end down to mini DisplayPort on the Mac end, which mini DisplayPort will just plug into your Thunderbolt port. That's something else. A Mac Pro, you can run more monitors, but with the iMac, you can run two, and I've got two IPS displays I'm going to hook up to the 27-inch iMac, so that's going to be massive, massive amount of workspace to work on. So the iMac, and the way I configured it, and I felt it was optimal, I went with the 16 gigs of memory, and the reason I did that, that's two 8 gigabit sticks, which leaves two slots open in the 27-inch iMac so that in the future I can get two inexpensive sticks of memory, two 8 gig sticks, and bump it up from 16 gigs of memory to 32 gigs of memory. So I'm looking at the future update there. Now for the internal storage, I went with a 256 gig flash. And the reason I did that is that if you go Fusion, sure, you get the advantage of the large capacity hard drive plus the performance of flash. But what you're doing there is you're still getting a mechanical hard drive in here, because Fusion at a high level is just basically just a standard hard drive that has a flash piece on it to improve the reads and writes. So you're still getting that mechanical in there. By going the 256 gig flash, I completely eliminated a manual drive in there. Not that the manual drive's noisy in that configuration, but it does run warmer, and it, anything that's mechanical is more prone to failure than anything that's flash based. So I went with the 256 gig flash because that's more than enough space. And actually right here on this MacBook Air that I'm on, I've only got 128 gig flash in it, and I've got plenty of room for all my applications and my emails. Haven't had a problem. And I have the increased performance of a flash-based system, which is going to speed up your application, speed up your boot time and your shutdown time. I would definitely stick with flash. And you can check out my other video where I reviewed, and they're sitting over here. I've got these, it's a brand called Vantec, V-A-N-T-E-C, HX4. And these external hard drive enclosures will hold up to 4 hard drives. And actually, you can check out my other video where I explain how to, how to create a concatenated disk set, within Disk Utility on a Mac. So basically, you can combine, 4 or more, or 2 drives for that matter, like I have now, 2 physical drives into what appears within OS X as one drive. In my case, I've got 2 4 terabyte drives in that, and I've got room for 2 more, by the way. But I combine those two using disk concatenation, and I've got what appears to OS X as one single 8 terabyte drive. So it's pretty cool. And that's what and those are USB 3.0, so that's what I would recommend to use in conjunction. So you're going to get the speed benefits by having the 256 gig flash in your iMac, but then you're going to get the huge storage capacity by utilizing these Vantecs, or you can just pick up an inexpensive USB 3.0 3 terabyte or so hard drive. That would work too. It depends on how much storage you need. But with this, at least I have the option to expand in the future as needed. And that's what I did. And then also for the video option, I know there were two video cards that were available in the iMac, the iMac 27-inch, and I went ahead and went for the high-end one, which I think was the GeForce GTX 780M. And the reason I did that is that actually that will assist if you use applications like Final Cut Pro. That'll assist with improving the performance of that. And that's what I do here at Irish Guys Adventure Channel, is a lot of video editing. So I maxed that out. And then I did, let's see, what else did I get? I just got the, I got the trackpad because I like that, the Magic trackpad. And then instead of the wireless keyboard, I just got the wired keyboard that has a numpad. I still don't like to have to deal with batteries in a keyboard. And I wish, that's one thing I wish Apple would do. The Magic trackpad is so nice. I wish they would come up with a way where you didn't have to use 2 AA batteries in it. It's some sort of rechargeable solution. I don't know. Or a wired Magic trackpad. I would buy it. And that way I wouldn't have to keep replacing batteries every few months. But yeah, that's the high level. If you're wanting the highest end, Mac out there. Oh, and that's something I forgot. I upgraded the the 27-inch iMac to the fastest processor, which is the i7. Let's see, it was a 3.5 gigahertz quad core. So I went ahead and did that. So this thing ought to last me. I know my 2009 iMac, just to give you an idea of how nice it is to order it completely spec'd out. When I ordered my 2009 iMac, that's right when i7 had first come out. So I equipped my 2009 iMac with an i7. That system, I kid you not, lasted me until 2013. It's 2013 now, October. I sold it about a month ago, and it was still perfectly fine. Sure, certain aspects of it were dated. It didn't have USB 3.0. You know, it didn't have. It just had a standard hard drive and whatnot. It didn't have the flash. But I mean, it just goes to show, if you're looking at a difference on these Macs in certain areas. Now, certain areas, I mean, you know, processor and video card. Those are areas where I would go all the way out. But as I stated with storage, I would go with the smallest. In this case, it was 256 gig flash, and then just use your external hard drives for your mass storage. And definitely get another hard drive so that you can back up by way of Time Machine, or if you want to set up a mirroring configuration, whatever it is. That way, if your external hard drive fails, then you won't lose all your data because you've got it replicated in another location. So that's my take on the highest end Mac. And obviously, the 27-inch iMac and the Mac Pro, those are the two most powerful Macs that one can choose from today. And my, you know, not being a huge television network or anything, I couldn't justify, and sure, it wasn't that much more, but I couldn't justify spending for the Mac Pro when I could get all of this plus a display. The Mac Pro doesn't come with a display. So I've got this 27-inch iMac, 27-inch IPS display. So stay tuned, check out the unboxing video and the review where I set it up. I'm gonna detail the whole configuration. I'm gonna show how I do the not dual monitor, but triple monitor. I'm gonna have two monitors, one on each side of this 27-inch iMac. So it ought to be a sight to behold. But I appreciate you watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's youtube.com/IRIXGuy. Share this video with others. And as I always say, I filmed this particular video. I filmed in photo booth on a current model MacBook Air 13-inch with the comic book filter. I didn't want to. I mean, the MacBook Air is great, but right now, with the encoding in Final Cut Pro 10, it's not as fast as that iMac for exporting. So I can whip this up, you know, get my point across. And stay tuned. I'm going to have some really high-end, professionally edited videos with green screen effects and all of that as soon as I get this Mac Pro set up. Not Mac Pro, I'm sorry, 27-inch iMac. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.